Hello. Today's lecture video is based on the term cross ratio. As a recap, we defined a function s from the extended complex plane C infinity to C infinity itself by fixing 3 points which were set 2, set 3, set 4, and it was defined as the fraction s of z is equal to the numerator z minus z3 divided by z minus z4, the whole divided by z2 minus z3 divided by z2 minus z4 whenever z2, z3, z4 belongs to the complex plane. And when they were taking the value infinity, we had redefined s of z for those three. That is, when set 2 is equal to infinity, when set 3 is equal to infinity, and set 4 is equal to infinity, we had defined it simultaneously. So using this definition, we are going to define cross ratio. Suppose if set 1 belongs to the extended complex plane and we are substituting for this z the point z1. Okay, so wherever there is z, you replace it with z1. So what you now obtained, the fraction now you obtained is denoted as the ordered quadruple z1 comma z2 comma z3 comma z4. Earlier we said that this function itself is a Mobius transformation. It is of the form az plus b divided by cz plus d, definitely. So this cross ratio is actually a Mobius transformation which we are defining at a point, and that point is set 1 here. So this quadruple set 1, set 2, set 3, set 4 is called the cross ratio of set 1, set 2, set 3 and set 4. We had already mentioned that the above mentioned z maps the value set 2 to 1, that is s of set 2 is equal to 1, s of set 3 is equal to 0 and s of set 4 is equal to infinity. So s of set 2 is nothing but, instead of the set 1 here, we are substituting it with set 2. So that is nothing but the quadruple, ordered quadruple set 2, set 2, set 3, set 4. Similarly, you can denote s of set 3 is equal to 0 to be this one, and s of set 4 is equal to infinity to be this one. And to just take a recap, we know that when set 4 is equal to infinity, we defined the function defined before as s of z is equal to set minus set 3 divided by set 2 minus set 3. So suppose if we are thinking about the ordered quadruple z comma 1 comma 0 comma infinity, that means the fourth term is infinity. So that is the condition here, set 4 is equal to infinity. So the definition of s of z is this one, set minus set 3 divided by set 2 minus set 3. So here also set minus set 3 is 0 here, set 2 is 1 here. So set minus 0 divided by 1 minus 0, which is equal to z. That is an observation, neat observation from there. So to give a remark, whenever we are having a Mobius map such that three distinct points are mapped to 1, 0 and infinity, that Mobius map can be represented or denoted as m of z is equal to the cross ratio z comma w2 comma w3 comma w4. That is an observation from here. Next, we are going to prove the proposition 3.8, which has the statement: if set 2, set 3, set 4 are distinct points and T is any Mobius transformation, then the cross ratio sitting here, set 1, set 2, set 3, set 4 is equal to the cross ratio having the terms applied by the Mobius transformation T. That is the cross ratio T of set 1, comma T of set 2, comma T of set 3, comma T of set 4 for any point set 1. So this is a very nice conclusion we are having from this hypothesis. Let's try to prove the same. So suppose if we are having S of Z is equal to the cross ratio set 1, set 2, set 3, set 4, we definitely know that it is a Mobius map, okay? And in the hypothesis, we know that we are taking that T is a Mobius transformation definitely. So its inverse, T inverse will also be a Mobius transformation, Mobius map. And then we are thinking about the composition of S and T inverse. And we are defining this composition to be capital M, the map M, which is also internal Mobius map. We had dealt with the same earlier. Also, as S is a Mobius map and it is the cross ratio, we earlier said that S of set 2 is nothing but 1, S of set 3 is equal to 0, S of set 4 is equal to infinity. Now let's find something else. Consider M of T of set 2 because we need to arrive at some point. We are choosing this M of T of set 2. We know that M is S composition T inverse, okay, and of T of set 2, right? And T inverse and T are inverse functions. That means they'll make up the identity function here, and we are ending up with S of set 2, and we know that S of set 2 is equal to 1. Similarly, we are concluding from M of T set 3 is equal to 0, M of T of set 4 is equal to infinity. So what we arrived at now is that M is a Mobius transformation which maps T of set 2 to 1, T of set 3 to 0 and T of set 4 to infinity. That means M of Z can be denoted as the cross ratio set comma T of set 2 comma T of set 3 comma T of set 4, and as a particular point applying Z1 M of at Z we are choosing it to be T of Z1, okay. So that means M of T of Z1 instead of Z we can replace it with T of Z1, okay. And we know that M is nothing but S composition T inverse, right? And the T inverse and T will composite to form the identity, and we are getting in as S of Z1 in the LHS, and right hand side you're getting the cross ratio this one. And what is S of Z1? We defined S of Z1 to be the cross ratio Z1, Z2, Z3, Z4. So that's how we conclude there. So for any Mobius transformation T, you're getting this conclusion. And next is the proposition 3.9, which is also a very simple um, result, which says that if we are having three distinct points in the extended complex plane, set 2, set 3, set 4, and W2, W3, W4 are also distinct points in the extended complex plane, then there is only one Mobius transformation such that set 2 is mapped to W2 by that transformation, set 3 to W3 and set 4 to W4. Let's see how we can prove it. Suppose we are defining that T of Z is equal to the cross ratio set comma set 2 comma set 3 comma set 4, and M of Z is equal to the cross ratio set comma W2 comma W3 comma W4. Okay, we know that both of them are Mobius transformations. Okay, define S to be equal to M inverse of T, which is in turn a Mobius transformation because M inverse will be a Mobius transformation. Now consider S of set 2. S of set 2 is nothing but M inverse of T of set 2. But since T of Z is a cross ratio, we know that T of set 2 is equal to 1, T of set 3 is equal to 0, T of set 4 is equal to infinity. So here we have uh, instead of T of set 2, we can replace it with 1. Okay. And also we know, since M is also a cross ratio, we know that M of W2 is equal to 1, M of W3 is equal to 0, M of W4 is equal to infinity. That means in M inverse of 1 is nothing but W2. And the same kind of inference can be brought for the other two. S of set 3 is equal to W3 and S of set 4 is equal to W4. So that means the defined S is a Mobius transformation with the decide property. That means this S is mapping Z2 to W2, Z3 to W3 and Z4 to W4. So it is a Mobius transformation with the required property, and then we have to prove that it is one and only one having this property. Okay, so let R be another Mobius map with this property. That means set 2 is mapped to W2, set 3 is mapped to W3 and set 4 is mapped to W4 by this function R, Mobius map. Now consider R inverse of S, R inverse composition S, okay, and apply that map to set 2, set 3, set 4, right? Now S of set 2, we know that S of set 2 is mapping uh, to the point W2, right? So instead of S of set 2, you can give it as W2, okay? And we assume that R of set 2 is equal to W2, that means R inverse of W2 is nothing but set 2. And the same thing is happening for set 3 and set 4 as well, okay? So what does this mean? That R inverse composition S of set 2 is equal to set 2, R inverse composition S of set 3 is equal to set 3, R inverse composition S of set 4 is equal to set 4. That means set 2, set 3, set 4 is all are acting as fixed points of the Mobius transformation R inverse composition S, and we had in the hypothesis that set 2, set 3, set 4 are distinct points. Okay, so what does it make us to conclude? R inverse composition S is a Mobius transformation and it has three fixed points which are distinct: set 2, set 3 and set 4. Note that they are three distinct fixed points from the hypothesis, okay? But a Mobius transformation can have at most two fixed points, which we had uh, discussed before while we were starting with the Mobius transformation. So the only map which can have, only Mobius map which can have more than two fixed points will make us choose the identity map. That means R inverse composition S is nothing but the identity map. That means S is equal to R. So that proves the uniqueness of the statement of the theorem. So that is how we end up this video lecture, and we'll come to know about more of the properties of cross ratio and related topics. So thank you for being throughout this lecture. Thank you so much.